G'day and thanks for watching the latest episode of our YouTube travel series as we delve deep into the Queensland Outback and visit the far-flung towns of the Diamantina Shire, including iconic Birdsville. Best known for its pub and bakery of the same name, a visit to Birdsville is a rite of passage for Australia's caravanning cohort. Each year, the town hosts the Birdsville Races and the Big Red Bash Music Festival. Birdsville is also the most northerly point of the epic Birdsville Track. I'm Adam Ford, and in this video, we'll pull up a pew at what's probably the most famous pub in the land. Wash away our cares in the thermally heated waters of the Great Artesian Basin. Scale the heady heights of Big Red at sunset. Go birdwatching by the Birdsville Billabong. And from a one-pub town to a pub with no town, we drop by the Betoota Hotel. And we'll even bring you a bit of a scoop, a sneak peek inside Birdsville's newest visitor attraction.
Find the accused guilty and find them £5 or 5 days in jail.
Special thanks to the Outback Queensland Tourism Association for their support. And before we put the pedal to the metal, take a moment to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more amazing travel ideas. Now, if you're watching this video, you're probably doing a self-drive trip out to Birdsville. We've come down from Mount Isa via Boulia. You could be coming in from the east. And as you can see, it's an incredibly flat, generally very dry landscape. They've had a lot of rain, so it's a little bit green. And right beneath us is one of the world's largest natural reservoirs of water, the Great Artesian Basin. Over 1.7 million square kilometres in size. It's what sustains many of the remote communities out here. And one of them has been bathing in the thermally heated waters since the early 1900s. We're going to find out more. The town of Bedourie is the administrative centre for the Diamantina Shire. We're here to visit the Aquatic Centre and Artesian Spa, which can be accessed by collecting a key from the Visitor Information Centre. The 25-metre swimming pool offers relief from the heat of summer, but some like it hot. The Artesian Spa was first drilled in 1905 and has been soothing aches and pains ever since.
What? It's actually really warm. It says on the sign over there that the pool can get to 40 degrees. It's pretty hot, I've got to tell you. Nice though.
But there's no time for lounging around in a warm bath. We've got places to be. Continuing south, we arrive in Birdsville, which sits on the doorstep of the mighty Simpson Desert. It's hard to comprehend just how remote this town is. It was first established as a customs point for drovers moving stock between Queensland and South Australia. It's first things first as we take care of the essentials: fuel and coffee, before checking in to the Birdsville Tourist Park. Operated by the Diamantina Shire Council, the tourist park offers powered and unpowered caravan and camping sites, motel rooms and a number of deluxe cabins. Our first stop in town is the busy Visitor Information Centre, where I'm catching up with Tourism Coordinator Nadine.
I'm Nadine Lorenz and I'm the Tourism Coordinator of the Diamantina Shire Council.
And we are standing in your visitor centre. Just tell us a little bit about it.
So the Wirrarri Information Centre, we offer lots of local knowledge, information about road reports. There's a gallery with fabulous artworks, a lot of history for people to see, great film. It's just a fantastic little place to work and for people to come and visit us.
The centre's introductory video runs for about 50 minutes and is well worth watching. If you're in the market for souvenirs or need internet access, you've come to the right place. And as Nadine mentioned, there's also a museum and art gallery to check out. The various artefacts on display chart the town's history, including that of the Birdsville Races. Nadine tells me more about the meaning of the name Wirrarri and the Indigenous artwork on display.
Wirrarri is actually the traditional name meaning Birdsville. The artwork that's on display is done by Auntie Jean Crombie, and one of her sisters, Auntie Joyce, does some artwork as well. So they're the Wanganguru Yaliyandi, the traditional owners of here. Top tips of coming to Birdsville: you drive to the conditions and your capabilities. That's all you do. The hardest thing is everyone's perception of a road condition is completely different. So my perception of the road conditions at the moment are brilliant, whereas someone else may come along and be like, that's the worst road I've ever travelled on, whereas the next person next to them may go, oh, we thought it was great. And until they contact the information centres and we explain to them, you know, you don't have to go on the dirt, you can come down from Bedourie, you can see other country, you know, they're like, oh, really? Yep, you can.
Enjoying a bevy at the incomparable Birdsville Hotel tops the list of things to do for most visitors, and Operations Manager Darren has offered to show us around.
Okay, so we're standing in the Birdsville Hotel. It's first established in 1884. We're standing in the front bar, which is probably the most iconic part of the building. People do travel a long way to come here to have a cold beer. It's like a big lounge room, I think. A lot of people feel very comfortable in here, and there's so much memorabilia. You can take hours looking around and you actually won't take in everything. A lot of it's probably only about 40 years old. There was a big fire in 1979. So all the hats on the wall behind me are people that have done the hard yards, that have lived and worked in Birdsville for a couple of years. And then you've got a lot of photos and just little knickknacks all around the place.
It wouldn't be a stretch to say that visiting the Birdsville Hotel is almost a spiritual experience for many travellers.
So some people may have planned their trip to Birdsville. It could have been 2 or 3 years in the making. So when people finally do walk in here, it's such a massive achievement and sense of fulfilment.
What have people said to you when they first arrive? What do they tend to say when they walk in?
Come on, beer to wash the dust down. They've ticked it off, and they're just really happy to approach the front bar, get that beer, wash it down and say, I'm here.
Cheers to that. It's time to meet Big Red, a 40-metre high red sand dune on the edge of the vast Simpson Desert. This is a popular spot at sunset, and while experienced four-wheel drivers can visit the dune under their own steam, we're hitching a ride with Big Red Tours in air-conditioned comfort. Owner and tour guide Alex is an excellent host, and formalities out of the way, guests enjoy a guided tour of Birdsville itself, followed by the run out to Big Red. Alex's commentary keeps everyone entertained, and before long we're approaching the dune. And the views from the top are nothing short of epic. It wouldn't be a sunset without sundowners, and drinks and a snack box for each guest are included in the tour price. All in all, this is an amazing experience and is not to be missed. We promised you a scoop, and depending on when you're watching this video, here it is. Nadine has arranged access for us to Birdsville's newest visitor attraction, the refurbished Heritage Courthouse, which the Shire hopes to open to the public for the 2023 season. Tourism Officer Michelle is on hand to show us around.
The building was built in about 1890 to sort of show the Western districts that the law could reach this far and that everyone was still accountable. There was a police station that was originally built in the early 1880s that fell down shortly after this was built, and so an extension was put onto this so that police could live in it. So it's quite a grand building. When you come in through the front door, of course, you're pretty impressed with the courtroom itself. It's very theatrical, it's built to impress. But when you walk through that, you're walking into the living room, then there's a couple of bedrooms and verandas. And so as families moved into it, rather than single police, there was extensions added. There's a cell block that was built in the late 50s. That was because the previous cell block had fallen down and there was nowhere to keep anybody. And so they had to chain people to posts. And then in the back paddock, which is the police paddock, is the Aboriginal trackers hut. So that was built in about 48, but it was exactly the model that they'd been using in Western Queensland for trackers the whole of the century.
And while the courthouse itself is over a century old, the integrated technology is state-of-the-art.
So Link Interactive have developed a hologram in the courthouse, so you get to experience actual court hearings that occurred at the beginning of the century and in the mid-century. So you've got the whole transcript being reenacted, and you're as though you were in the room experiencing that. You do get a sense of what it would be like to live here. You do get a sense of the extremes of the lives of the people that lived here, and I think that's really exciting. Most people come away feeling a great deal of admiration for the people of the past here.
Now, history lovers are absolutely going to love their stay here in Birdsville. There are pockets of yesteryear on display across the town, including the Burke and Wills tree. You've got the historic town cemetery, the Birdsville Hotel, of course, the courthouse, as we've seen, and here on Adelaide Street, the ruins of the Royal Hotel. Now, this structure has a link with one of Australia's most important outback institutions. Take a look. John Flynn is a name you'll see and hear a lot in the outback. The Presbyterian Minister's Australian Inland Mission leased the Royal Hotel from 1923 to 1937 to house a bush hospital. In 1928, Flynn succeeded in founding an aeromedical service, which would go on to become the Royal Flying Doctor Service. Discussions on how to preserve the heritage-listed site are ongoing. Just south of town lies the Birdsville Billabong and a small peninsula known as Pelican Point. Formed by runoff from the town bore, this tranquil oasis is a top spot to enjoy some R&R.
My favourite part of Birdsville would probably be Pelican Point. Like everybody says Big Red, like it is great, but I just think Pelican Point, like when there aren't many tourists here and it's summertime and all the locals get together of an afternoon and we all go down to Pelican Point, I think that's my favourite part. I think it's just a great little place to go, and because not many people know about it, which probably now they will, but I just think it's good. It is really great. You've got those water views with the sun going down and, you know, you get birds in the background, and it's just spectacular.
Bidding Birdsville farewell, we head towards Wirrarri along the mostly gravel Birdsville Developmental Road. Our first stop is the epic Dreamtime Serpent sculpture, which is located just before the Betoota turnoff and cuts a striking swathe across a rocky hillside. From there, it's a short drive to the must-visit Betoota Hotel, a tiny outpost in the middle of the Outback, but one that's big on character. Originally a Cobb & Co staging post, all that's left of the town of Betoota is the pub, and even that was abandoned in 1997. With steely determination, publican Robbo took charge in 2020 and revived the Betoota's fortunes, much to the delight of dusty passing travellers. Today, the pub offers cold beer, hot food and a breakdown service. We hope you won't need it, but it's nice to know it's there. Visitors are welcome to camp on the premises and amenities are provided. Just prior to our visit, the pub had welcomed 8 Kelpie cross puppies, which provided hours of entertainment. The day slowly draws to a close and Robbo even puts on an evening feed. And I have to say that the humble banger never tasted so good. For more ideas for amazing things to do in Outback Queensland, just head to our website.